Welcome back to the Traders Network. I'm Michael Yorba, your host. Thanks for joining us. All right, we've got Nick Santiago, President and CEO in the Money Stocks with me today. Nick, welcome back to the show.
Great to be back, Michael. Thank you for having me.
All right, my pleasure. Today you wanted to start off with JP Morgan, I think, right?
Yeah, I do want to start off with JP Morgan simply for the fact that this stock is what we call a market barometer. When this stock goes down, usually the market will follow. When this stock bottoms out, usually the market will follow it on the way to the upside. Most recently, I guess around June 24th, the stock bottomed around $50, and we've had a rally ever since. Today, the stock market is rallying off of the Ben Bernanke comments from yesterday, but notice JPM is struggling today. The stock will report earnings tomorrow, so things could change rather quickly, but I think it's worth noting that JPM is really underperforming the market today, just up 25 cents. For a fair part of the day, the stock was actually negative, and that's happening on a day where the Dow is rallying higher by 162 points. That is not something that bulls want to see right now. If this stock starts to falter, this could really be the end of this so-called bounce that we've had in the overall market indexes from June 24th.
Got any support levels you think it may fall to?
Well, I think if JPM does come down, you're going to have a lot of support right back down around 51, maybe $50. Oh. That's going to be the real sign right there. If we break through 50, though, this stock could be in trouble. Then it could be, ultimately a $45 stock, and that would mean a real severe market correction is underway.
Okay, but if not, then do you have any targets?
If not, 50, 51, JPM still has a lot of support.
Okay, all right, got it. All right, Toll Brothers, I think you wanted to talk about the real estate market for a second.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about Toll Brothers because this is really having a dramatic bounce today, a very, very good bounce. The stock is up sharply, trading higher by over $2. This stock right now has probably upside to around $36. That's a level, depending on the pattern, obviously, how it gets in there. But I think that's a level for a potential short. These home builders, over the really since, I'm going to say February, even late January, have really been very, very range-bound. High end of the range between 38 on Toll Brothers, the low end of the range around 31. And I think traders can continue to play those bounces in this equity. And I look at Toll Brothers because it's a very good gauge. They cater more to the affluent client building higher end homes. So it gives us a very, very good gauge of what the housing market is doing. So I think traders right now could look to sell Toll Brothers around the $36 level.
Okay. All right. Now let's talk about the interest rates markets.
Interest rate market right now. Today bond yields have pulled back. So the yields on the 10-year Treasury note are now around 2.57%, but ultimately I'm in the camp they're going up to 2.9 to 3%, and maybe even a little bit higher. Right now, to see a little pullback in the yields, but overall, the market or the yield, the interest rates want to go higher.
Okay. All right. Now, when you say that they want to go higher, do you think that we're about to see a significant move higher in interest rates, or is it going to be one of those controlled moves?
I think it's going to be somewhat controlled.
Okay.
Right now, yields are pulling back, or interest rates are pulling back a little bit after the Bernanke comments. But ultimately, the bond market will need probably a few more weeks to set up, and then it'll start working its way higher. I don't, to 4% on the 10-year note. I think 3% is probably where they're gonna ultimately land.
Okay. Now you are using the IEF, right? iShares.
I trade the IEF, and I also trade the PST against it. So right now, I think the IEF probably will have a little bit more upside to come. But ultimately, once a bearish pattern is formed, and I think that'll probably be formed over the next couple of weeks, the IEF can head lower.
Okay, so give me a resistance level for the IEF you're thinking about.
Right now, there are a couple of interesting levels, but it's probably going to be more about the pattern than anything. But at the moment, I would probably say around 102.60 to 103 would probably be a level I would get interested in for maximum bounce for the IEF. If it could get through there, then maybe it gets to around 104. But I just don't see it getting through there.
Okay, so the equivalent of that on the futures bond market would be what, somewhere around like 136-ish? Is that what you're thinking?
Somewhere around there.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be about right if we could correlate it.
All right. Now, you also wanted to talk about the TLT, so let's not leave that one out.
Yeah, the TLT, which is pretty much the same thing. TLT is just basically the 30-year bond, long the 30-year bond. And right now, there's a big head and shoulder pattern in there on the weekly chart. That signals a move down to really $96. So, I don't think it's going to just get down to 96 right away, but I do think that it can get down to at least 100 within the next month or so.
Okay. All right. Now, you also wanted to talk about the U.S. dollar and the Japanese yen. U.S. dollar is getting hammered today. I mean, absolutely obliterated.
Yeah, the dollar is getting annihilated today, and it has downside potential really all the way back down to 81. The dollar's been in a range, as you can see, if you look at a U.S. dollar index chart, basically from 84.75 to 85, all the way down to around 81, even 80.50. I think that range continues to be in play. So I would expect lower prices on the dollar. Dollar moves down. I think we could expect, maybe some higher prices in gold, at least for the near term. Also, I wanted to talk about the dollar-yen chart, which is probably one of the most important charts that any trader could follow because of the carry trade that's taking place there. But the dollar-yen chart also could be susceptible to come right back down towards that $95 level.
All right. Now, I'm looking at the dollar-yen chart right now, and are you thinking that we get a little bounce off of this and then short it again?
Yeah, if you get any sideways consolidation for about a week's time, you can sell this probably right down into 95, possibly $94.
Okay, yeah, that's that low that occurred. Let me get the timing on that. Somewhere out about the middle of June. Got it.
Yes, right around the 13th and 14th of June. Now, if that level were to break, which is around $94 on the dollar yen, then it becomes really susceptible all the way down to 87.50.
Okay, all right. What about the copper market? I've seen you call some tremendous trades on that, and that's closely tied to the real estate market too.
Well, I think right now the copper market, could be due for just a little small bounce, but ultimately I'm in the camp that the copper market wants to get down to 275.
Okay.
So, how it gets there or when it gets there, maybe a little while. We may have a few weeks here where the copper market does catch a bounce, but ultimately, 275, I think that's where the copper market is due for a more substantial bounce. Right now, I think we just get, at best, a short-term bounce off the Chinese market. Right now, the Shanghai index is dominating every move in copper. And today, or last night, I should say, the Shanghai traded up into a pretty important level. It may have a little bit more upside to go. But once the Shanghai move is over, the bounce in the Shanghai, which I think is more of a dead cat bounce than anything, the move in copper will ultimately be over as well.
Okay. Give me some idea. I mean, like the 330 area, is that what you're thinking, or something else on the resistance?
On copper right now, where it could make a move to? For the most part, I'm thinking, 330 is probably a real good spot. So I think that would be its maximum. I don't really see it getting above 330, but that would be its maximum upside right now.
Okay, now you had mentioned metals earlier in the conversation. Give me an idea beyond copper. I think you said gold, right?
Yeah, well, when you look at, I'll just use the GLD because everybody has that.
Okay.
GLD right now, if the dollar sells off, which I think it's going to do, GLD has potential to get back up to around 133, 134. So there's a real chance for the GLD to make a move back up there. And if you're looking at the gold futures, I guess right around 1340 or so, that would probably be maybe 1350 for gold futures.
Okay, all right. But ultimately, are you still bearish on the gold market, even if we get a little bit of a rally here?
Well, I wouldn't be bearish. I'd have to see how gold reacts when it gets up to that level.
Okay.
I don't want to say I'm really bearish on gold because we have some decent lows in place. I would have liked to have seen gold go lower personally. I would have felt better about the permanent low being in, but I am looking for a low at this time anyway in gold.
Okay, so anything close to 1,200, you're looking at an accumulation pattern. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I would have really been very, very bullish gold had we gone just down a little bit more to say around 1150. I mean, that would have been the ideal spot. Sometimes the markets don't give us the ideal level, but that you're looking for. So, I mean, we were close enough where gold futures did go down to 1179. So, I mean, it's in the wheelhouse.
Okay, we got a minute left. Tell us what happened today in the trading room.
Trading room was pretty good. As you know, sometimes when we get these big gap ups like we had today, the futures spiked overnight and yesterday after the Bernanke Q&A in Boston. So sometimes we're a little bit limited, but we were able to get a few JP Morgan scalps off today for winners. We also had some small caps that gained about 10 and 15%. I think we had two small caps. One gainer was for 10%, one was for 15%. And these are just intraday day trades within, a couple of hours. So, I mean, these are tremendous percentage gains, and, we continue to put them out each and every day.
Nice work. All right, inthemoneystocks.com is where everybody needs to go to get in the room, right?
That's it, Michael. Come on over, take a 7-day free trial to our research center, or come to our intraday stock chat. You'll get our screens. You'll see our live screens and everything that we're doing.
All right. Thanks so much, Nick.
Thank you, Michael. Have a great day.
You too. Nick Santiago, President and CEO in the Money Stocks.